I got a short one for y'all today. This week on Feel Good Friday, the world's most dangerous sex position. Ticks will make you allergic to meat. And leprosy is so hot right now.
Did you just say what I think you said?
Yeah. Wait,
Well, I was going to say that leprosy is so hot right now. That's what you just said?
Yeah,
I said a number of things.
I'm familiar with all of these topics except for the sex position.
I'm familiar with that, but nothing else.
I said sex positions, ticks, and leprosy. Now, all three of these things, oddly enough, happen to be directly connected.
Oh.
Just kidding. Let's start. We're going to keep this one brief today because guess what, folks? Right after we finish recording this, the three of us, along with some other loved ones, we're all going to go see Stephen Jenkinson perform here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, live.
A night of grief
And mystery.
and mystery. What do you guys think is going to be mysterious about it?
I'll tell you right now what's going to be mysterious about it is Stephen Jenkinson's outfit.
Totally.
Dude, that guy dresses like he was plucked out of the 1920s on a farm.
Right, on a farm.
Yeah.
But you know who he's got similar style to?
Jesse James.
Gord Downey.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
Gord Downey had a very similar. Lots of denim.
Yeah.
For people who are listening,
if he was driving a motorcycle and fell off, his skin would probably be okay.
Yeah.
For people who are listening who don't know who Stephen Jenkinson is, we had him on Sick Boy, and if you're hearing this and didn't hear that episode, then you should do yourself a favor and go back and listen to that. What was the episode called?
It was called probably something highly inappropriate based on the way I titled the episodes. Actually, the other day, Taylor got mad at me because I put the word piss in an episode title.
Did you get mad?
Yeah, you did. You were like, dude, I hate the word piss.
I do hate the word piss. You know what? I actually didn't feel, I was pretty agnostic about the word piss. And then Kyla said that she didn't like it. And then I thought about it and I went, you know what? I think it's actually you. I think it's you. I think you made me not like it.
Because of the way I say it?
Because you say it with such vigor. It really...
I say the C word with vigor too. I mean, I love all those words that feel like it's a... Like you could palpable.
I don't think it's the C word you're talking about, but a C word that is said with vigor a lot that I
cock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that the C word you were talking about?
No, I was talking about cunt, but cock too.
Yeah. Cock is
cock's a great one.
Cock does sound. Cock and piss are similar.
Yeah.
In their sort of grossness.
Yeah, just like I don't know. They just
though I don't have a problem with the episode title. That was fine.
All right. Well, listen. Go check out Stephen Jenkinson. He's great, and he might be coming to your town. So actually check it out. A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how it's kind of fucking like the people who are out here listening to podcasts at 1.5x need to get themselves checked out.
I saw that somebody wrote about this.
Kathleen, a longtime listener of ours, Kathleen, wrote in and said, listening to FGF episodes at 1.5 always. It's hilarious, and I still get all the great info. And I responded and said, someone get this woman some help. And she said, it's a time management issue. Upside down smiley. Love you guys. Have listened to every episode and don't want to miss them. And I said, who has the most natural sounding 1.5x voice? And she said, shockingly, all of you. I've been listening for so long, the voices sound normal. Maybe Taylor, because he takes so long to ask questions that 1.5 version puts him at normal speed.
Wow. Burn! That is a mad burn.
It's not just the cadence that you speak at, Taylor. It's the amount of words you need to formulate the questions.
I like
themselves.
a lot of context. Well, you know what, Kathleen? Listening to podcasts at 1.5 speed, if you don't already have a mental illness, then pick yourself up a copy of the DSM-5 because that should be in it.
Taylor right now.
Get out of here, you goddamn jackass.
All right, let's get cracking here. Guys, the fucking news is out. Science has spoken. The world's most dangerous sexual position has been confirmed.
We all know this. It's
gotta be missionary.
It has no, definitely not. Dude, that's safe.
I was just.
Do you know what sex is?
No, I was thinking missionary because
I'll give you a clue.
it's the most it's probably the most popular. I'm sure it's the most popular.
You're talking about like
most
the total amount of injuries in a position is probably missionary because it's the most common sex
because it's
position.
the most time spent, most time is spent.
I'll give you a clue because it seems like you know.
So it was,
For sure,
it was
yeah.
just logic. I was just coming at it from a logical angle. That's
I mean, I saw this and I know it, but also it was very intuitive that this would be it.
Right. Well, here's your clue.
Okay.
That's pretty much all you do.
Any suggestions now other than missionary?
I'm thinking cowgirl or reverse cowgirl.
Well, you said it right. Reverse cowgirl.
See, why reverse? Why,
Dude,
that
is it.
Why is it intuitive?
That's a dick breaker. Have you done reverse cowgirl, man? It always
so it
feels.
Yeah.
Oh, my dick can't do reverse cowgirl. I can't do that.
It is
right, but why?
Because my dick points straight up in the air.
And so what is the consequence of that?
Wait, your dick points straight up in the air?
Oh, it's like I don't have any like
mine goes 90 degrees to the left.
I don't have any horizontal like my like when I'm hard, my dick is like the broken brake lever on a runaway train.
I'm gonna come.
Like, you cannot pull that sucker down. It is locked in a vertical position.
I feel bad for Kathleen having to listen to you say that in 1.5x. The world's most dangerous sex position isn't kinky. It isn't experimental. It isn't face sitting or an adventurous take on the wheelbarrow or anything to do with exercise balls, stairs, or resistance play. You probably even tried it. Because according to the UK-based surgeon, Dr. Karen Raj, who makes educational TikTok videos for his 5 million strong following, the world's most dangerous sex position is none other than the humble reverse cowgirl.
That's so funny because I've always thought about reverse cowgirl as an exotic position from my perspective because it's not accessible to me in any way, shape,
but because it would be dangerous for you to do it, right?
Totally.
Like if you forced yourself into that position,
it would be I would be fucking on eggshells.
I think also,
exactly.
I mean, you're failing to mention the thing that you literally said to us last week, which is that it's the ultimate sin because you're staring down the asshole.
Yeah.
And you don't, and that's by your standards.
In my religion.
Yeah, your God's not down.
Not
with
that.
Yeah. my God loves that.
In a viral video released last year, Raj described how reverse cowgirl position was responsible for, get ready for it, 50% of penile fractures in the bedroom. For those unfamiliar with this position, reverse cowgirl, the giver lies on their back, penis or dildo up. The receiver mounts facing the giver's feet, so facing away, back facing the person. And from there, they bounce up and down or grind. That's sex. And as this is a position where the receiver is on top, the giver is unable to regulate the speed and momentum of the thrusts. And as Raj deadpanned, quote, if there's any erratic thrusting or movements of the two parties are not in sync, it could lead to the male Jabberwocky slipping out and being crushed by the female pubic bone.
Wait, does it say Jabberwocky?
It does say Jabberwocky.
What is that in reference
I think
to?
Jabberwocky is the word that she uses instead of cock to make it TikTok friendly.
Oh, okay.
I'm curious, like how the mechanics, like what the mechanics of a penile fracture are, because I understand, like intuitively, I can grasp like the feeling of your dick being really hard and, bending in an unconventional way that would lead to what you would refer to as a fracture.
It's only fractured until you are soft, and then the fracture goes away.
But that's not true, right? Like, obviously there's no bone in your penis. So like, how does that work?
I'm glad you asked, Brian. As Raj described, although there isn't a literal bone in a penis, dicks can still break. So a penile fracture is actually a tear to the tunica albugina. He said in the video. Might not have pronounced that one right.
Albugina.
Albugina. This is a rubbery sheath of tissue that allows a penis to enlarge in width and length during an erection. The reverse cowgirl is only really dangerous to penetrators with penises, so it's not going to happen if you're using a dildo. Although maybe you break the dildo. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
As it turns out, dicks can be broken in many different and surprisingly pedestrian positions. A 2017 study published in the International Journal of Impotence Research found that doggy style was the most dangerous sex position, accounting for 41% of all penile fracture cases. Coming in second was missionary with dick on top, and at 25%, and then woman on top at 10%. Outside
is that still called missionary?
So
I would go
missionary is dick on top.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah. And then woman on top came in at 10%.
Okay.
Outside the usual risks, cum in the eye, pulled muscles, injured backs, STIs, and pregnancy. There are other ways to hurt yourself.
Wait, is cum in the eye common?
I don't know if it's common, but it's definitely definitely ouchy. It definitely
ouchy. Getting anything in your eye.
Yeah.
You don't want anything in your
any
eye.
kind of bodily fluid in your eye.
Yeah, anything in your eye. Anything.
Not eye drops.
Even eye drops. I had to get. I mean,
eye drops feel great.
No. They feel great like 2 minutes, 3 minutes later. But like when they drop into your eye, it's not like thanks.
Man, I feel like.
You think it's instant relief,
especially when you're high.
I will say this. Yeah, the only time I really use eye drops is when I'm fucking baked out of my mind.
Yeah. Do you use eye drops now when you're baked?
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I kind of need it because like they're so dry. And when I put the eye drop in, it feels like I just took a big old gulp of a crisp Pilsner on a hot summer day in my eyeball.
Okay. Interesting.
It's quite nice.
Well, maybe I should get myself some eye drops because I think I would like that.
So yeah, they say this is an article from Vice, by the way. So they say outside of the usual risks, cum in the eye, pulled muscles, injured backs, STIs, and pregnancy, are there other ways to hurt yourself or your partner in the bedroom that don't involve snapping penises?
Yeah, frenulum tears.
Well, they said not really, but that's a good point. According to Men's Health, the dangers posed by the 4 riskiest sex positions and their derivatives mostly include dick breakage, and like reverse cowgirl, you've likely tried them. In the eager chef, the receiver. So these are other positions.
Are you familiar with the eager chef?
I am not. This is the first time I ever heard it. The
Can you
eager
describe
chef.
the position?
I will. The receiver sits on a bench or a table with their legs wrapped around the giver's waist, who is standing, possibly on their tippy toes, and thrusting.
Oh, okay.
So it's like kitchen sex, like fucking on a washing machine or like on a dishwasher. Or,
not so accessible for me because
I'm hot stove.
I'm short.
I'm not. My legs are too short for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Mine aren't. I'm 6 foot.
I need to be on like a stool.
Yeah, I need a little.
That's not as sexy.
I need a little.
You need a squatty potty to fuck.
Put me up on the counter. Get my stool.
Uppies. Uppy.
Oh God, dude. You turned that went so far in another direction so quickly. It was disgusting.
Ew. I pictured you naked doing that.
Dude, that's the position. That's the position. The eager chef. That's the position in McGruger.
So it's great for kitchen sex, but it's bad for accidentally losing your balance, falling, sending pots and pans flying, and smacking your head on the linoleum floor.
Especially if you're standing on a stool.
Floor. Yeah, dude. Stepping stools are dangerous.
A sex position that's a little more exciting with the introduction of a prop is the Swiss ball blitz. I feel like the Swiss ball blitz sounds like
describe it.
All right, here we go. Ready? The Swiss ball blitz. Let me just turn this down a little bit. It's a little heavy. All right, here we go. Swiss ball blitz. The giver sits on an exercise ball. The receiver squats over their groin facing away. The receiver is on top here, so too much momentum can result in a similar medical emergency to the reverse cowgirl's promise of a broken dick. Similarly to the Swiss ball blitz, in Stairway to Heaven, which we're going to switch it up here. Stairway to Heaven
Wait. Oh my God.
Oh, we got 2 songs. You know, we're talking about 2 things at once. So
I mean, Stairway to Heaven is
So this is we have the Swiss ball that says stairway to heaven. The receiver's also in the driver's seat, facing away, except for the giver's seated on the stairs.
Oh my God!
In this position,
you have to turn it off. You have to turn it off. Holy fuck!
Oh, fuck.
Okay, let's move on to the cowgirl. The cowgirl plus lean back can lead to hyperextension of the penis caused by the cowgirl with a lean back.
So not reverse.
Not reverse. Regular cowgirl with a lean back
Right. Yeah.
can lead to hyperextension of the penis caused by too frequent or intensive downward pressure on the shaft.
It's all about the angle of the vaginal canal, you know?
I mean, really, that's basically it. At least with that one. Men's Health wrote that if the giver feels tugging or a joint like crack, the angle is a little too extreme.
Oh God.
I'm familiar with that feeling, and it's not nice. A similar position that causes tugging on the penis is the butter churner. A little more advanced, where the receiver lies on their shoulders with their legs raised up and over their head while the penetrator comes down from above.
It's kind of like a jackhammer.
It's kind of like I refer to it as the oil rigger.
That's what I call it too. Yeah.
You know?
Oh, okay. We've all got our own little take on it.
Now, this can cause hyperextension of the penis, but for the receiver, this position can cause neck injuries, especially if the thrusting is too vigorous.
Yeah.
You don't want to drill for oil too hard.
It's like shoulder stand.
Well, yeah. Actually, if you're doing it properly, you should refer to it as fracking.
Dude, yeah.
That was a good one.
Puss.
I like that. Oh,
That's
whoa,
what.
Jesus
That's not what I say.
Holy
That's
fuck.
not what I say. It's
Fuck, dude, take it
it's
back.
on
This is a family show.
There's a video I was watching that referred to as that. It wasn't. It was a documentary.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it a Pornhub documentary?
No.
Semen is another kind of milk.
Now, the spider is where both partners lie on their backs,
God.
facing each other. Wait, what the fuck?
This is
both
absurd.
How does this make
You
sense?
know what? This article started off by saying there's not really that many dangerous positions.
this
It's
one
pretty
was
much
like,
just reverse cowgirl, and then it's like
here's all the ways
every position
and the risks associated with
Now,
it.
this one's kind of hard to think about. The spider is where both partners lay on their backs, facing each other. How do you face each other laying on your backs? Crab-like. Okay, I'll just read it. The spider
scissoring.
is where both partners lie on their backs, facing each other, crab-like, with the receiver's hips between the givers, while their legs go over the giver's knees and rest flat near their shoulders. Okay, yeah, you guys do it now.
Like this.
Come on, you two, get in there.
Stick
Get in
your
there.
legs
Do
out
the
like
spider
this.
to each other.
Yeah.
Just slip it into his butt.
dude, I actually love that we're talking about this fucking nonsense, but
This is another pose that can cause hyperextension of the penis.
It's so clear why Vice went bankrupt.
Okay, finally, the last one, which I wish I had a fucking sound for. The pogo stick. This is where the penetrator is standing at the penetrated partner. The penetrator is standing, and the penetrated partner koala hugs them, groins interlocked, poses various risks. The receiver could be dropped. Both partners can fall. And unless they're incredibly fit, like the three of us, the giver is likely to sustain back and neck injuries.
I was thinking a lot of these positions sound like the risk would be correlated to a lack of fitness. You know, like a heightened risk is like, especially like the Swiss ball one, right? It's not just your control of the ball, it's your control of your core muscles.
I mean, it's like, you know that those fucking sexy, physically like just specimens in Cirque du Soleil, they're having crazy fucking.
I mean, a lot of these moves,
crazy.
they probably made up a lot of these
bending
moves.
in all sorts of different ways.
Yeah, they probably did just make all these sex moves up.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Well, let's move on. Good 20 minutes of that shit. How do you guys feel about meat allergies?
These are related, aren't they?
How do I feel about them? Haven't really given them much thought in my young 32 years.
I've actually thought quite a bit about this because I read a book called Eating Right for Your Blood Type while I was at my yoga teacher training, and it talked about.
Sounds like a bunch.
Is that concrete?
Sounds like a bunch of.
I was going to preface this by saying that actually I think all of this has been disproven, and
because I've heard a lot about that, and I was very interested in it, but then I think I saw that it was like not super grounded.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
It sounds
but something that was interesting, like the reason why I thought about this was in the book I read that like A positive blood types shouldn't eat meat. It's like the only blood type that in this book, according to this book, was like should be on a vegetarian or vegan diet.
Interesting.
Well, and the interesting thing for me is that
has something to do, or I'm sure that your blood in general could indicate whether
it would, from a bro science perspective, you could understand how there would be some sort of correlation to that, but it may not be true at all.
Well,
very much so. Yeah.
What would you think if I said there's a bit of spit out there somewhere that could make you allergic to meat?
I've heard of this. I mean, you said at the top of the episode. I heard it a long time ago, actually.
And this is all related. The spit.
Do you mean if somebody spit?
Meat.
No, I heard about the tick thing.
Oh.
And that's not pig, that's squat.
It's actually about ticks. So a meat allergy caused by tick spit is getting more common, says the CDC. More than 100,000 people in the U.S. have become allergic to red meat since 2010 because of a weird syndrome triggered by tick bites, according to a government report released Thursday. Now, we can't trust the government at all.
That's so interesting. Just now, just this Thursday, it's a recent report?
Yeah.
Oh.
But health officials believe many more have the problem and don't know it. A second report estimated that as many as 450,000 Americans have developed the allergy. That would make it the 10th most common food allergy in the U.S., says Dr. Scott Commons, a University of North Carolina researcher who co-authored both papers published by the CDC.
Do you guys think this is a government program to genetically engineer ticks that are biting people and giving them meat allergies to take down big meat? It's probably like a left-wing thing.
I think all of this is just posed. This is all concocted to keep us in our homes.
I think the government would be
probably
more so in the opposite direction of that.
Yeah. Well, you'd think so.
And next thing you know, they're going to tell us we got to get a vaccine, a tick vaccine. The fuck out of here. Not in my house. Health officials said they're not aware of any confirmed deaths, but people with the allergy have described it as bewildering and terrifying. I never connected it with any food because it was hours after eating, said one patient. The reaction, called alpha-gal syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
Alpha-gal syndrome.
Is there a Radio Lab episode?
Sounds like Barbie Land.
Am I right?
You know what I mean?
Right?
You guys haven't seen it yet, so you wouldn't get that. But Barbie Land is all the gals are alpha.
Oh, okay.
And it's not considered a syndrome. They haven't had the benefits of patriarchy over there in Barbie world.
That's right.
So alpha-gal syndrome occurs when an infected person eats beef, pork, venison, or other meats from mammals, or ingests milk, gelatin, or other mammal products. Vegans fucking love this. This is a fucking vegan's wet dream, hearing these meat-eating fuckheads getting allergic to the vile evil they're filling their gullets with. It's not caused by a germ. But by a sugar. This is really interesting. Alpha-gal that is in meat from mammals and in tick spit. So when the sugar enters the body through the skin, it triggers an immune response and can lead to a severe allergic reaction. Scientists had seen reactions in patients taking a cancer drug that was made in mouse cells containing the alpha-gal sugar. But in 2011, researchers first reported that it could spread through tick bites too. They tied it to the Lone Star tick, which, despite its Texas-themed name, is most common in the eastern and southern United States, the world's greatest country. About 4% of all U.S. Americans, the world's greatest people, about 4% of all the cases have been in the eastern end of New York's Long Island, one of the stinkiest places in America. I actually don't know anything about Long Island. One of the studies
it says that there. That's interesting.
One of the studies released Thursday examined 2017 to 2022 test results from the main U.S. commercial lab looking for alpha-gal antibodies. They noted the number of people testing positive rose from about 13,000 in 2017 to 19,000 in 2022. And experts say cases may be up for a variety of reasons, including Lone Star ticks expanding range, more people coming into contact with ticks, or more doctors learning about it and ordering tests for it. Which I would say all three of those things combined probably are.
Yeah. It's multifactorial
it's not one.
for sure.
Yeah.
The combination of ticks and TikTok.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be crazy if, like, 15 years from now, we look back and we go, wow, we accidentally saved the environment because of a total blow up in the tick population, which just bit so many people and they got allergic to meat, that meat production fell. And then as a result, I mean, dude, meat production is fucking, I eat meat. I'm not saying this from like a fucking perspective of like
earmuffs, Kyla. Earmuffs.
I don't eat meat, and like eating meat is bad. Meat production is so bad for the environment. It's fucking mind blowing.
It's way worse than you driving your car.
It is way worse.
Yeah.
But I'm just asking this question. I don't actually know the answer to this. But isn't like being a vegetarian or veganism also really bad for the environment? Depending on
everything you do is bad. Everything you do is bad for the environment.
Existing is bad for the environment.
It's about.
But are you talking about
how you are as the least amount bad for the environment?
Right. But what I'm asking is relative to one another, depending on your choices that you make.
No, far less. Far less. Everything that you eat, if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, is going to have an impact. Like all the food production has an impact on the environment. It all takes resources. It all takes land. It all takes there's resources involved, and all of those are contributing in some way, big or small, to environmental issues.
Yeah, but it probably
meat is crazy.
It probably does come out in the wash though, because like vegans are super stinky, so they take long showers.
Yeah.
So like, listen to this fact for a second, because I've got these stats on the top of my head for a specific reason right now. So
this has to do with how stinky vegans are, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you want to get 100 grams of protein from beef sources, 100 grams of protein is like a really healthy amount of protein for like I'm 160 pounds ish. 100 grams of protein for me in a single day would be like a really great amount. I could have a little bit less and that'd be fine, but I wouldn't want to get any less than 80 grams.
If you're trying to bulk too, you want to do a gram per pound of body weight.
Yeah, and if you're trying and if you're trying to like really build muscle mass, then you need more than 100 grams. So let's use 100 grams as like what we would want to get in a day. That would be a good goal for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, for Jerry and I, it'd be double. We're trying to get swole.
400 or 500.
So 100 grams. If you are getting that from a beef source, that 100 grams of protein, that is going to be use 1,600 liters of water to produce that 100 grams. A single day's worth of protein.
How many toilet flushes is that?
For it's 320. It's 425 or something.
Fucking Rain Man over here. You see this?
But just a question about that.
For soy protein.
But just a question about the beef specifically.
Yeah.
Does it matter? Like, does it vary greatly between where you get your beef from?
It's
so like
Wagyu
if you got
beef only
if you went to a local market down the street versus like something that you buy in the grocery store, does it change very much?
These are like these are global statistics. So it's
averages.
So you're probably getting some sources that are way more, and you're getting sources that are way less. So for pea protein, I said soy protein before, but for pea protein,
and we're not talking about piss protein. We're talking about
128
the vegetable pea,
127 or 128 liters of water. So like obviously that's still a fucking crazy amount of water, but compared to beef, it's like 13 times less or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's just a staggering, and farmed fish is like also really, really like animal product protein just is like so resource intensive. It's wild.
I just find the thing that, and I don't know the answer to this, but the thing that I question immediately is
and
like,
that's only one thing.
Is like
a lot of things.
And I guess the thing that I always want to be careful of is like, there is if like free range eggs that you get. Like I was driving down the street the other day, and there was a guy who had a sign on the side of his house like eggs, and he had chickens in the backyard. You could buy them. Obviously, going to that guy and buying eggs is has a massively different environmental impact than buying the eggs that you get in the grocery store.
And is he spelling it AGGS?
Yeah, that's what he says. Eggs.
Yeah,
that's why I said it like that.
Interesting.
But so that's the only point that I'm trying to make, or question that I'm trying to ask is it really matters where you get your stuff from at the end of the day.
But the problem is that you can't feed the amount of people that we have on this earth by way of those better methods.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
We
can barely do it. We can't even do it.
We can make individual choices.
We can't even do it with the shitty methods.
You can make individual choices, which will make you feel better, but it's not doing shit.
But a lot of people can't make those choices.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people have no choice in that matter, and they just a price is a price, and if it's cheaper, that's the price that's the price they have to pay if they want that item. So like there's a lot of obstacles, a ton of obstacles in terms of like feeding the world and the way in which we do it, and.
There's actually only one solution.
I've learned through some recent research that it has got to change. And I don't know exactly what the answer to that is.
I know what it is,
but
I think it's this:
lab-grown meats.
It's going to play a role.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, let's get these people bit by these ticks.
Let's just get that
tick spit.
Yeah. That'll be the vaccine that people are lining up for.
That's right. Yeah. Not my house. And people with the syndrome can experience symptoms such as hives, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, severe stomach pain, difficulty breathing, dizziness, and swelling of the lips, throat, tongue, or eyelids. Yuck. Unlike some other food allergies, which occur soon after eating, these reactions hit hours later. That's kind of trippy. Some patients have only stomach symptoms. And the American Gastroenterological Association says people with unexpected diarrhea, nausea, and abdominal pain should be tested for the syndrome. Doctors counsel people with the allergy to change their diet, carry epinephrine, and avoid tick bites.
For sure.
Yeah.
Avoid tick bites.
That makes sense.
I'm trying to avoid tick bites on the regular.
The allergy can fade away in some people. Commons has seen that happen in about 15 to 20% of his patients. But the key is avoiding being rebitten. So if you're having those kinds of symptoms and you're wondering what the fuck's going on with me, maybe you've got alpha-gal syndrome.
Yeah, that's wild.
I was going to talk about the superconductor thing, but let's just bypass that.
I know, Brian's horny for it.
We're kind of running out low on time.
All right.
I really want to hit this what the health. What the hell?
99.
Leprosy. I thought leprosy was...
I saw this the other day.
Old news.
And I just saw the headline, so I don't know anything about it, but I saw that there was just like a crazy uptick in leprosy cases.
Yeah, Florida, man.
Oh shit.
Leprosy is real hot right now for all those Florida mans. Leprosy cases in Central Florida account for nearly 20% of the national cases.
So leprosy, as I see, my exposure to leprosy is in movies, and it's usually in relation to India or something like a long time ago, like before like that leprosy. Now we used to, if you get leprosy, it's like,
it was like a long time ago. If you got leprosy, they would go, you are getting the fuck out of here. We're going to put you with the colony of lepers.
What is leprosy, and what is happening, and how do you get it?
Well, Brian, thanks for asking. It has to do with the skin. It's like a skin disease. So rising evidence is pointing to the possibility that leprosy has become an endemic in the southern U.S., best country in the world, with Florida being named among the top reported states.
Best state in the U.S.
In a recently published research letter regarding emerging infectious diseases, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, we were just talking about them a moment ago.
Familiar.
They said that Florida is witnessing an increase in leprosy cases lacking traditional risk factors and recommending that travel to Florida be considered when conducting leprosy contact tracing in any state. Leprosy, which is scientifically known as Hansen's disease, is a chronic infectious disease that primarily affects the skin and peripheral nervous system. Malaria in Florida, though malaria cases are waning, you should still take precautions. You know what?
Sorry, what?
Don't know where that came from. Let's just get rid of that. The number of reported leprosy cases across the country has doubled over the past decade, according to the CDC. Citing data from the National Hansen's Disease Program, the CDC says there were 159 new cases reported in the U.S. in 2020. Nearly 70% of those new cases were reported in Florida, California, Louisiana, Hawaii, New York, and Tejas.
What?
Florida stands out in the report for 2 reasons.
Wait, what? What was the last one?
Tejas.
Oh, Texas.
Central Florida alone accounted for nearly 20% of the total number of cases reported nationally. And several new case patients in Central Florida demonstrated no clear evidence of zootonic exposure or traditionally known risk factors. So they're kind of going, they're like, fuck, how are you getting this?
I thought leprosy was totally eradicated.
I think you have to, so as I, again, from my limited understanding, I remember,
we don't hear about it much.
I remember, so I know that there was like leprosy, like colonies especially in India. And you were like, basically, if you were like living in a slum in India,
you were a leper,
and you got leprosy, like you were banished, and like you had to live in this other. And then, there was a massive stigma because there was a lack of, complete lack of understanding about like what the disease is and how you transmit it. And they thought that like if you were just around somebody, you could get leprosy from them. But I believe it's contracted through like saliva, not specifically a sexually transmitted disease, but
we're about to get to that. So Hansen's disease, leprosy, is a disease that primarily infects the skin and the nerves in the skin, though it can sometimes infect other parts of the body, like the lining in the airway passages of the nose. And according to the Florida Department of Health, this is the case. It has been around for thousands of years, with the earliest known records appearing in China and India around 600 BC, which is kind of impossible because time didn't exist 600 BC.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we all know that.
It only started 2,000 years ago.
That's right.
Despite its biblical description, the disease is not easily spread. So it's not easily spread. And about 95% of people that have 95% of people have natural protective immunity, according to the FDOH. Leprosy can be easily easy to treat, especially if it's addressed early. However, going without treatment can result in permanent nerve damage. The disease is caused by Mycobacterium leprae, which is a slow-growing type of bacteria. It can often take years for signs and symptoms to develop following exposure because of the bacteria. Once the first sign of infection appears, it can take anywhere between 2 weeks to 2 months for it to progress. Now, what are the signs and symptoms? Early signs of leprosy include pale or slightly red areas or rash on the body that is often associated with a loss of sensation in the affected area.
Taylor, that might be what you had.
Other symptoms include loss of feeling in the hands and feet,
Right, yeah.
Dry, stiff, and sometimes painful skin in the affected area,
Stiff.
thinning of the eyebrows and eyelashes if the face is involved.
You don't have that.
I do not. Nasal congestion is sometimes reported.
Gotta trim those suckers.
And I told you I'm gonna let them grow out for you guys so you can see.
They tick.
If the disease goes untreated, weakness in the muscles in the hands and feet can also occur. Here's a photo of a guy that has it, and you can see you can also see how he's developed these black bars across his eyes. It's very scary. This looks like what I would imagine Walter White to look like if he got bad leprosy.
It looks like
Walter White with leprosy.
And like spent some time getting really
spent some hard time
in jail.
Can leprosy be treated or cured? Well, leprosy is a curable disease. Doctors prescribe antibiotics for patients with leprosy. Patients are typically no longer infectious after a few days of antibiotics, but the treatment lasts between 1 to 2 years due to the bacteria's slow growth.
Oh, crazy.
That is
that's
pretty wild.
Wait,
1
so you
to
just
2
take
years.
like oral antibiotics for like 1 to 2 years?
I mean, I'm guessing it's probably oral.
Dude, that's us.
Yeah.
Or anal. Leprosy is contagious and can be transmitted by untreated people infected with the disease. However, most people have a natural protective immunity, like I said earlier. Exposure to people infected with leprosy should still be avoided, especially among family members, as protective immunity is genetic.
So should we put them in a colony?
I mean, it sounds like we should not even it sounds like we just shouldn't be afraid at all.
It really kind of just made it sound like no big deal.
I think it kind of is no big deal. I mean,
wait,
if you get it, you want to treat it.
Wait, is this a
obviously.
case of the headline making us feel sort of a little bit perhaps scared.
I think
and
that's
then
what I mean.
Well, the headline was
the content of
the headline was leprosy cases in Central Florida account for nearly 20% of national cases, and you could be next. I mean, that's all it said.
that is.
And you could be
sort of
next.
is-
It didn't say you
That's
could be
kind of
next.
scary.
It didn't say that.
And you could be next.
About the transmission, though, this is interesting. So it isn't actually fully known how it's transmitted due to its uncommon nature. But scientists do know that it is not spread through casual contact, sexual transmission, or from mother to fetus. The prevailing theory is that high levels of the bacteria developed in a person's nose and are spread to others not immune through prolonged contact, like prolonged, like nasal licking, that kind of thing.
That sounds kind of hard to believe, though. Like, how could you say it can't? It's not really transmitted through like sex, but like,
sex prolonged.
It could just be.
Sex.
It could just be
Sex is not
that
prolonged.
you sneezed or something.
Speak for yourself, brother.
Yeah, Jeremy's in it for the long haul. Well, no, because it's not a sneeze either. It's not a. It's not a.
That is the long haul.
It's not a.
You know how
singular
long
thing.
that clip is? If I let it run,
I've seen the movie.
and a
a
half
minute
it's
and
long.
12 seconds.
Yeah, that makes that, and that is why I've never laughed harder at a movie scene in my whole life.
But so wait, just so that you can clarify for me, how do they think that you might transmit it?
like
then?
licking inside people's nostrils.
Yeah, like a singular exposure to the bacteria from somebody sneezing or something is not going to give it to you. You need to be like.
And you've never
probably need to
done
be-
that while having sex?
No, dude, you're probably talking about days.
I do it for a second. Like I do it for a split second.
And so you're not nervous?
No.
Okay.
You do it for days. It's like people you live with. You spread leprosy too.
So if you're having sex with the people that you live with,
Then you're probably giving them leprosy, but not during sex specifically.
More
But,
so
like,
during
that
the
could be
during the pillow talk after sex.
Yeah,
okay.
When you're
yeah,
doing-
that's
when-
way
when-
more the danger zone.
When
To
you're
me,
doing
that's
your,
part of
when you're doing
sex,
your
dude.
aftercare.
Most people don't understand the dangers of pillow talk.
That
It's
should
a
have been the
very,
headline.
it's a very dangerous.
And also, that
activity.
is part of the sexual experience. That should be part of your
100%.
Yeah.
It's just not explicitly sexual.
Chapter pronoun.
Privilege. Point of personal privilege.
I'd just like to make a point of personal privilege here and say that the episode is over. Thank you all so much for listening to today's episode. And if you are in a city, you should look to see if Stephen Jenkinson's coming to that city.
You should.
I think the tour is still going. Actually, here, you know what? Let's do a night of grief and mystery. Let's see when that show is coming to towns.
I have to pee.
We've got. Let's see here. I'm gonna list it out right now because we love Stephen so much. Wednesday, August 2nd. That's today. Playing in Halifax, so you missed it. But Thursday, you missed that one too because this comes out Friday. So you missed it if you were in Annapolis Royal. He's going to be in St. Andrews, New Brunswick today. If you're listening to this episode when it came out, Saturday the 5th, Dalhousie, New Brunswick. Tuesday the 8th, London, UK. Oh shit!
That's it.
Thursday, August
Brunswick to
10th, Penzance, England. Monday the 14th, Malmo, Sweden. Thursday the 17th, Sigtuna, Sweden. Friday the 18th, Angsbacka, Sweden.
Are we gonna go through all of these?
Yeah, let's do them all. Here we go. 19th, Oslo, Norway. The 22nd of August, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Wow, they're really bouncing around
they
here.
really bounce.
Fucking August 23rd, Duluth, Minnesota. You goddamn know if you're living in Duluth, you need something to do, go to this. Thursday the 24th, Cleveland, Ohio. Friday the 25th, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Sunday the 27th, Asheville, North Carolina. And there's a bunch of dates for September too, so go look.
Yeah, thank God you're not going to go through all of them.
Orphanwisdom.com. Let's see what the last date is.
That is crazy.
The very last date.
In August, he's doing that
Holy
many
shit, dude,
different places.
They're doing a lot of fucking dates. All the way up till December 3rd,
Holy shit.
Montreal, Quebec.
I actually looked.
Back in Canada.
I actually looked at
That's
those
fucking
tour dates, and
crazy.
I thought you were going to go through all of them. And
I didn't realize how many there were.
there's like
They're going to be
100.
tired.
Yeah,
Steven's an old man. How can he do that?
He is not young.
It's because he's got orphan wisdom.
He's going to need to take a nap. You know what I mean?
He's got a lot of pep though.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Support the podcast. Leave a rating and review. Go to the Discord. Come hang out and let us know what your thoughts are. And do that.
And if you want to be a guest on the show, go to sickboypodcast.com and click on the link and fill out the form, and you might be a guest on our show.
Shout out to all the people that we love and help make this show happen. Donovan Morgan, Rich O'Coin, Jeff Lonis, and everyone else. We love you.
That's it for this week.
I'm Brian.
I'm Taylor.
And I am Jeremy, and this is Sick Boy.
And we said, not yet. We got